Good morning, everyone. This is officially the last of a couple different kinds of chapels this year. This is the last of our sports award assemblies before chapel. We're here to recognize our athletes who've competed in the spring in girls fast pitch softball, and girls soccer, and in boys baseball. So we're going to have our coaches following our athletic director in just a few minutes. But this is also our last regular chapel with our graduating class of 2021. They will have a special chapel next Thursday, just them. And you guys will be in regular classes next Thursday. But it's amazing that this year has passed so quickly. In the class of 2021 is literally a few days away from their graduation. Before we start our assembly this morning, I'm going to open in prayer and then turn things over to our athletic director, Mrs. Lefevre. Would you join me? Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the day that you've made. We've been enjoying a stretch of beautiful warm weather, and we appreciate so much what we enjoy outside, and are reminded of an amazing and an awesome creator designer. We pray that as we recognize activities from the spring, that we would remember that every good and perfect gift cometh down from above. So athletic gifts are included in that. And the exercise of those gifts are to be to the glory of God. May we not lose sight of those things and live as independent beings. We are entirely dependent upon you for everything. And anything good that we have is from thee. So we pray that we would keep that perspective, and thank you for bodies fearfully and wonderfully made. And we worship you this day and give praise and honor to you, for you alone are worthy. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Spring Sports Awards Assembly, where we get to recognize the accomplishments of our student athletes. We're thankful that you can be here, and for those who can be watching online right now. This season, 2 teams were started up again after being defunct for a few seasons, the softball team and the middle school boys baseball team. We will talk about that in a moment, along with 2 teams that participated in Max Sac championships this year. But first, I would like to, before we get to team recognitions, I would like to recognize 2 of our senior student athletes. So Roger Williams and Emily Jarek, would you please stand up and come to the front and stand beside me quickly? Emily and Roger were recently awarded a very prestigious scholarship, the Harford County Alcesky Scholarship. It's based on athletic and academic achievements throughout a student's high school career. The Alcesky Scholarship Fund awards a total of $54,000 annually to Harford County graduating student athletes and has surpassed the $1 million mark of total award money given since the program began in 1986. The late Alcesky was a longtime phys ed teacher and coach at Bel Air High School, whose family organized a scholarship fund in his memory for these outstanding student athletes. This $2,000 scholarship is awarded each year to 1 male, 1 female senior recipient from each high school in Harford County. In order to be eligible, the candidates must excel in several areas, which include athletics and academics, community service, and financial need. Next month, Emily and Roger will represent HCS at a ceremony that honors all of the Harford County nominees. Please join me in congratulating Emily and Roger for their accomplishments. All right, you guys can go sit down. Thank you. Now we are going to hear from our coaches about their teams. If you were on a team, your team will be called to the front, so please stand behind me, where I'm standing right now, on the raised platform, and you will be receiving a participation certificate or a varsity letter, just depending on what team you were on and how much participation time that you had. So first I'm going to call Miss Andriellen Peters to the front. She's going to talk about girls middle school soccer. So girls middle school soccer team, go ahead and stand up, come to the front, and stand behind me.
Coach Peters regrets that he is not able to be here today, and so I am going to fill in for him. It has been over 2 years since we had a girls' middle school soccer season. Last March, all spring sports were canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Many were excited to see that HCS opened this year and was continuing their athletic programs. When we assembled our team in early March this year, we had only 4 returning players from the 2019 season. That meant we had 18 new players coming out for the team. Since we had such a large number, and many of them first-timers, Mr. Peters and I decided to do something new. We split the team into A and B squads with some overlap. We also lent the varsity team 9 of our 7th and 8th grade players. These girls especially had a very busy schedule with practices, middle school, and varsity games. But they built up their endurance and gained valuable experience participating in both levels. Our middle school team finished their regular season 3-4, playoffs 1-1. During these games, our younger girls were able to work side by side with our veteran players, benefiting from their wisdom and experience. We gained a new primary goalie who performed very well this season. The defense learned important skills such as containing and slowing down the attacking offense. Our offense scored 10 goals, including 1 from a new 5th grader. Thank you, girls, for all your hard work and effort this season. We will miss the 3 8th graders who will be graduating this year, but are encouraged to see 18 players remaining. We look forward to seeing their talents and abilities continue to develop in the years ahead.
If I could have the boys' middle school baseball team up here at this time, please. That's okay, one. This year was the first time since 2018 that we had a middle school boys baseball team, and I could say we picked up better than we left off. This team was formed of a lot of 7th, 6th, and 5th graders, so our future looks pretty bright. Unfortunately, we have 2 8th graders who we're going to miss next year with Ben and Josiah, but they've already had some varsity experience. I'm sure they'll fit right in with the team next year. For our returners, just keep on working hard. I know you guys have a lot of things you guys do in the summer, but really focus on your baseball and your talents will grow, and I just can't wait for next year. This year, our team finished with a record of 2-7, 2-0 in conference, and then we lost our MACSAC championship, which was a close game in and of itself, with each player working really hard and doing their best for the team, and unfortunately, we just could not see out a win that day. Overall, the team saw a lot of promise this year and a lot of potential, especially out of our younger 7th and 6th and 5th graders, who some of them have never played baseball before or have barely played. So it was nice to see them grow and develop as the year went on and just keep on getting better and better every practice and every game. This team worked really hard from start to finish, and I was super proud to be their coach this year. To 8th graders, I'm going to miss your leadership and just your hard work and effort. And for you returners, just keep on working hard and we'll be ready to go again next year. Thank you guys for a wonderful season, and yeah, just thank you so much.
All right, girls, softball, come on up. So I have like 25 minutes now, right, Mr. Wilson? Those first 2 are really quick. So I have no notes, so that's either good or bad for us right now. Okay, So like Coach Lefevre said, this is the first year since 2017. I had to check with her before we started. First year since 2017 that we had a girls softball team. Nobody had teams last year, but the 2 years prior to that, we didn't have softball either. So it was very exciting for me to hear from Coach Lefevre that we were going to have a team. And then more exciting for me when I saw that, because I've never had a team this big. We have 16 girls, 16. We have, let me see if I get this right. We have 3 8th graders. We have 6 9th grade, 3 7th graders, 6 8th graders, 5 9th graders, a 10th grader and an 11th grader. No seniors on this team. I know I have a senior out there that used to play for me, and I'm sorry that we haven't had a team up until now. But this is a great group of girls. It was a weird season for us. A lot of the schools that we typically play didn't get back in time to start their spring programs up, so we didn't have any really high school teams to play. So we had to kind of get creative, and I have been coaching for North Hartford Rec for about 4 years or so. So I knew a lot of the rec council members and coaches over there, so we called them up and asked if we could play in their rec league, and they said, sure. We have 3 teams already, and you would make a 4th. That would be great. So God really answered prayer for us so that we could play games and not just have practices all season. So it's been a great experience. We've played, there's 2 Delta teams and a Forest Hill team that we've played against. We've played 5 games now. I'm not going to talk about wins or losses for this team this year because this is a clinic year for us. This is a building year for us for this program. And I tell them every game, I'm not worried about winning losses. I'm not worried about runs. I'm worried about them learning the game and getting better at the game. And if you talk to the parents who have come out, the progression of this team has made in 5 games is phenomenal, which is good to see, and it's odd because none of these girls have played together before. And if you're a team sports coach, you know the team unity is the #1 thing for success in a team sport, bar none. You can give me a team full of superstars that have played softball all their lives who are not coachable, and I will take a team that has no experience but loves the game and is teachable, because I can make that a championship team. The desire needs to be there. That needs to be first and foremost. This team has desire. And it's really neat to see. I think the only person that's ever played softball in a Hartford Christian uniform before is Caitlin, and that was your seventh grade year. So she is now an 11th grader. So she is the only one that's seen the field for Hartford Christian in softball. All of these other girls are brand new to the sport for this school, which the sky's the limit for this team. They're only going to get better, and they're pretty good as it stands right now. So they've done a great job. Their skills are developing. Their team unity is developing. They're making plays right now in the field that they shouldn't be making already. So that's a testament to their desire to want to learn the game and to take coaching. They're an extremely coachable team. So again, we're not losing anyone. So they'll all be back again next year. Yeah, good. They'll all be back again next year, and we have room for more. My vision is to build this program. I want a JV team. I want a middle school team. I want 3 softball teams at Hartford Christian. So if you're in the seats right now and not up here and want to be up here, come see me because I want you to play. I want as many players as we can get. Having too many players is a good problem. So I want to thank my players for their attitude this season. We have a game tonight, and then we have playoffs next week. And they've been doing a fantastic job. We're going to win tonight. I'm missing a couple tonight, but we're going to win tonight. So thank you, girls, for all your hard work, and looking forward to a final couple games, and then looking forward to the next couple seasons with you guys. Thank you.
If the varsity girls soccer team could come up and line up behind me, that would be great. There were points this year in February and March where I was not sure we were going to have a season. I was out there talking to girls during lunchtime and trying to figure out who was interested this year in 9th through 12th grade, and I kept coming back with 4, 5, 6 names, and you know you need 11 people on the field. So I was a little bit concerned that we may not have a season this year, but I kept talking to people, and a lot of recruiting took place, and we did have to dip down into 7th and 8th grade, as Mrs. Peters said, but we were able to have a team this year, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful for these girls who were committed to this season. Several of them had never played soccer before. Only 3 of them had played varsity soccer for HCS before, so it was a young team. So we really focused on the fundamental skills of the game. And I appreciated in those early practices our veteran leaders, Katie and Abigail and Charity, who all brought stability and encouragement and leadership to those early practices. So I appreciate their work, especially encouraging the younger players. I did not know what to expect from this season, having such a young team, and at a certain point in March, I was thinking, if we get a win this year, any win at all, it's going to be a successful season. We'll take that. But they did a lot more than that. They overachieved, for sure. In fact, after our first 7 games, we were still undefeated. We had 6 wins and a tie, and we shut out our opponents 6 of those first 7 games. And our best win in that stretch was a 2-0 win over a very good Greater Grace team that was completely a varsity team, a 9th through 12th team, and we're a 7th through 12th team. So that was a very good win for us in late April. Then we hit a very challenging portion of our schedule, which started with what I'll just call the wind game against Carroll Christian. We ended up losing 8-0. In that game, a girl would go to clear the ball, kick the ball really hard down the field, and it would start going off the direction you wanted, and then the ball would turn around and come right back at you in the air. It was that windy. The ball would just change direction. So it was a very challenging game, and we ended up on the losing side of that game, 8-0. And after a very strong start where we were 6-0-1, like I said, we hit a rough part of our schedule, good teams, and we lost 4 of our next 5 games. So then we were set for the MACSAC postseason, and we had a rematch against Carroll in the semifinal, this time without all the wind. And after that very lopsided 8-0 loss earlier in the season, this game was a very back-and-forth match, which could have gone either way, really. And we ended up losing 6-5, which is pretty remarkable after losing 8-0 earlier in the year. And I really think if the game was 5 minutes longer, we would have come back and won that game because the momentum was certainly on our side there at the end. We finished our season with a record of 8 wins, 4 losses, and a tie, and we outscored our opponents 55-25. Phoebe Williams was our leading goal scorer. Very strong freshman year for her. She netted 22 of our 55 goals. Charity Hess was our lone senior this year, and she was our veteran leader in an otherwise completely new defense, and I appreciated her faithfulness at practice, her commitment to the soccer program over a 4-year period, and her very vocal leadership in games and in practice. So this year's Coach's Award goes to Charity Hess. Katie Carney has certainly been a welcome addition to our girls' varsity sports this year, especially for soccer. She was faithful at practices. She never had a bad game. She could score big goals when we needed them against tough teams, and she also had the ability to lock down possession in the midfield when we needed that. She was second on our team in goals with 14 and first in assists with 15. She also led our team in minutes played, which is pretty remarkable for a player who does all that running in the midfield. And this year, our most valuable player goes to Katie Carney. I'd like to thank Mrs. Lefevre for coming back and being our assistant coach, all the help and encouragement she's given our players this year. With all our girls hopefully returning for next season, except for one, I really believe that the future of the varsity girls soccer program is bright, And I'm so thankful for these girls and their hard work this season.
If I get varsity baseball to please come up. Excuse me, got myself out of order. I'd just like to say that this year, it was really awesome to actually have a team and be able to go out and play. I know I'd say I'm proud of these guys, and I really am. I'm glad for everybody that came out, and hopefully in the future we can get more players to come out so we can get more depth on this team. These guys fought hard all year. I know we started out, we struggled a little bit at the beginning, but they really came together and started persevering as a team. These guys worked tireless hours at night, extra time in the gym. We did a lot of work with fundamentals and things, and I know that's not always the fun part. I know a lot of these guys just kept asking when we're going to hit, but we had to get through from the basics. We had a wide range of talent on this team. We had guys that have played their whole lives since they were little. I can't imagine Luke being little, but you get the point. Timmy, Luke, Than have played a lot of years, and we had others who first time out. Some had played a year, some had played a year or two, 3 or 4 years ago. So we basically had to go back and start from the beginning. And these guys never complained. They put in the time, hourless time in the gym, at nights, working hard, getting through everything and learning. We struggled at the beginning at first, but as the season went on, they started coming together as a team and realizing that they can do this. And we got better when the games got tough. We played really well together. We played strong, and I was really proud of the way they hung in there. I would like to thank our AD for all her work in making sure we had a baseball season this year. I know I was a pain constantly running out of baseballs, but it happens. I'd also like to thank Mr. Wilson for all his support from his box seat window and always watching our games and being there for us. I have to admit, at age 57, I never thought I'd be going to see the principal, but you never know where life takes you. I would like to thank my coaches, Coach Nick, Coach Trevor, Coach Darren, and Coach Dave Taylor, who can't be here today. It takes a staff. It does. It takes a lot of support, people doing different roles and different things, and I really appreciate that. I'd also like to say real quick, not to go back, but congratulations to the junior high. I was proud of you guys. I like the way you guys came together and kept your heads up the whole time. Trevor, in first year as a baseball head coach, it was truly a blessing watching him grow in the job and the position and doing really well with it. And Darren for being there and being his right-hand man and helping him. I appreciate both of you guys. On to our awards. We have a couple of awards to give out. First one we're going to do is our unsung hero. Excuse me. An unsung hero is someone who goes above and beyond, someone who is able to rise above expectations. Our unsung hero for this year is Ben Kunzbeck. The first couple of games, Ben struggled a little bit, but I really was watching, and I think part of it was the fact that Ben was an 8th grader playing next to some guys that had a lot of experience, and he put a lot of pressure on himself. But we had a talk, we talked about it, and told him just relax because you belong on this team. And after that, he just seemed to take off, and everything went well. Anything we needed, we didn't have a backup catcher, and Ben said, I'll try it. So he slapped the equipment on, we worked with him, and before we knew it, he was catching in some games. Ben was always there and was willing to do anything we needed, and he helped us out more than he even knows. Next, we have 2, we have co-MVPs. Our first MVP is Timmy Williams. Timmy was our #1 pitcher. He also played shortstop, and Timmy just led with his actions on the field. Timmy was a good hitter, went about 3 games without getting out once. Pitched a no-hitter in his very first outing of the season. He led the team in wins, hits, average, and just about most of the categories. But you can tell he's been playing a long time. Coaching somebody like Timmy's fairly easy. Just every once in a while you got to kind of rein him in. But Timmy's a good athlete, and it's an honor coaching him. Our second MVP is Big Country, or as you know him, Luke Taylor. I had the privilege of coaching Luke at both baseball and basketball. So watching him grow up from a freshman to where he is today, watching the young man he's become, has been awesome along the way. This year, Luke was always a hard worker. He was always one of the last ones to leave, ask him whatever he could do, whatever coaches needed help with, if was there anything extra he could do, getting stuff ready for the next game. He was always there. Luke had a couple struggles at different times throughout the year, but he always worked hard, came to me and said, what am I doing? What do I have to do to be the best I can? And that's what it takes, is realizing your weaknesses in things, not just at sports, but in life, and how you can correct things to do the best and be the best person you can be. And Luke really exemplified that. So Luke, thank you. We have one more award, and this one's kind of special, I believe. It's the Coach's Award. The Coach's Award goes to a young man who exemplifies leadership both on and off the field. It's just somebody who gives it their all and leaves it all on the field. Our Coach's Award goes to Than Times. Like Luke, I had the privilege of coaching Than at basketball a couple years. Had both him and Luke at baseball as freshmen, and then as seniors. Again, Luke or Than always talking to me, asking what we can do, what he can do. Than was like having a coach on the field. He always relayed messages. If I need anything done, he did it. When we were struggling at times, I would say, can you? And he'd say, I got you, Coach. And I would look up, and he's out there telling people exactly what I wanted them to do, to know, and everything that goes on. I know that if Than is going to take that forward, I know he will succeed at everything he does in life. And I know that one day Than will become a leader somewhere and just really make this school, his parents, and everyone proud of him. I want to say thank you to this team for working hard, staying together, getting to the championship game. I know when it started and we talked about our goals this year, a lot of the guys said just win a game. So the fact that we got to the championship game, I know these guys were proud and wanted to be there, and they worked very hard, and they fought hard in the game. We came up a little bit short, and some of that I know is on me not having them prepared. To the seniors, I say I'm sorry. To the rest of you, we'll be there next year. I hope that the middle school kids who are coming up, I know there's only 2 8th graders moving up, but you guys who are 7th graders who will be 8th graders, as you saw this year. We use the 8th graders on the varsity, and I'm counting on some of you guys to step forward next year. So make sure you practice in the off season, get yourselves better, keep your grades up, do the right thing in school, and have a great year.
As we close, I'd like to address the students. I appreciate those of you who came out and played sports this year. We had a big year in sports, even despite the fact that it was a COVID year. We had a lot of participation, and that's important for you to get those life lessons. And I'm watching all of these teams stand up here and just knowing some of the life lessons that you've learned just by playing sports. So I will encourage those of you who haven't had a chance to play sports, just jump on a team. There are many opportunities. Next year, there's probably even going to be more opportunities for you to play sports. You don't have to be good at something already to play sports, and that's what I hear a lot of. You can learn and grow, and our coaches are willing to help you with that. And another thing I'd like to tell you is say thank you to your coach. Even, it doesn't have to be a card or a gift card, but it's just a thank you is helpful. And I think a lot of times our coaches don't look for that, but it's nice to hear at the end of a season. Many of them don't even accept their coaching pay, which isn't a lot anyway, but they want to be here for you guys. So say thank you to them when you can. And I'm going to take this time to say thank you to the coaches who have helped me and helped things run smoothly for our athletic program. Right now, what we're going to do is transition to chapel. So you guys can stand up, stretch for about a minute, and then Mr. Wilson will come and pray, and then we'll get started with the chapel speaker.